we are off and running with one of the biggest weeks of the year. Hi once again, everyone. This is the AEW Control Center. Tony Schiavone back at the controls once again this week. And after an incredible debut of Collision this past Saturday live on TNT from the United Center, we are back in Chicago tonight for 2 hours of AEW Dynamite live on TBS, beginning at 8/7 Central. This time, we're back at the Wintrust Arena, and tonight kicks off Forbidden Door Week. Now, if you're coming to the event tonight in Chicago, tickets at AEWTIX.com, and come early. Matches begin for those of you in the arena around 6:30 local time tonight. Of course, that's not all. This Saturday, the 24th of June, we are live in Toronto, the Scotiabank Arena, for AEW Collision on TNT at 8/7 Central. And then the very next night, this coming Sunday, June 25th, AEW and New Japan Pro Wrestling come together for our second annual Forbidden Door back in Toronto once again at the Scotiabank Arena. Okay, let's get to tonight's AEW Dynamite card live from the Wintrust Arena in Chicago. Tonight we are kicking off the AEW Blind Eliminator Tag Team Tournament, with the winner of this tournament getting a shot at the World Tag Team Championship. Some very interesting tag teams will be formed from this blind draw. The draw will be happening tonight live on Dynamite. Also tonight, in tag team action, the Hardys, Matt and Jeff, will meet the Guns, Austin and Colton Gunn.
This Wednesday in Chicago, it's the Guns against the Hardys. The past versus the future.
And the present, actually.
And the present.
Because we are, the best tag team in AEW.
Absolutely.
And on top of that, we're the best brother tag team in AEW. We grew up watching you. We know your strengths. We know your weaknesses. This match will be a walk in the park. And yes, you guys are one of the best tag teams of all time. But guess what? When you're the best, you always have someone gunning for you.
When I look at them, all I can think about them is 30 years ago, when they were snotty-ass little kids. Obviously, they have matured, and they are great athletes. They have a lot of great genetics. They have a lot of great DNA coming from daddy ass. But the fact of the matter is this: the comments they made about us were very arrogant, very egotistical, and I think they're forgetting who we are. We are legitimately in the conversation for one of the greatest tag teams ever, and we're going to remind the Guns exactly who we are on Dynamite. And you Guns, you are going to be our stepping stone to becoming the AEW World Tag Team Champions and going out on a high note, being on top for our 4th decade.
We don't exist to retire, we exist to inspire.
We're coming back over the overhill, and we're gonna do what your daddy's been trying to do for the last 3 years. We're gonna make you famous.
The Hardys against the Guns. Quite a matchup for tonight in the Wintrust Arena in Chicago and live on AEW Dynamite on TBS. Also tonight, in what is being billed as a concession stand brawl, Jeff Jarrett meets Mark Briscoe.
You know what? I woke up this morning and I thought, okay, I'm going back to my birthplace. I'm going back to the city that I've called home for 41 years. It's gonna be a momentous occasion. It's gonna be stupendous. We're gonna finally end this chapter that we have been living of Aubrey, referees, Briscoes, farms, chickens. Well, it's clear that that wasn't the case tonight. It's clear that we need to go back to the drawing board to figure out how to end this thing once and for all. It's clear that we need to regroup and figure out how to cut the head off the chicken that is Mark Briscoe. And now that clarity is coming. It's coming. I think I know.
Speaking of clarity, speaking of coming to an end, Mark Briscoe, time after time, we have given you plenty of opportunities to do the right thing. And tonight, you thought that the right thing after a 20-year-plus friendship, you thought that the right thing was to have your dad with his hands on my throat trying to choke the life out of me. If that is your sick idea of some weird friendship, I tell you what, Mark Briscoe, I want no parts of it. So from this point on, Mark Briscoe, you and I, we are no longer friends.
Mark Briscoe, you are solely responsible
for this entire situation. You're solely responsible for my wife back here agonizing in pain. You're solely responsible for breaking up a 20-plus year friendship. You're solely responsible for ruining this man's homecoming. Briscoe, I'm gonna go back to my roots. I'm gonna go back to my home. In 1977, 4 guys, the Blonde Bombers, Jerry Lawler, and Bill Dundee. What happened? Things got out of hand, and they fought all over the building in Tupelo, Mississippi, and it became legendary. 10 years later, another brawl took place. That brawl became legendary. And then a third time, the Moondogs against Jerry Lawler and Jeff Jarrett. And all 3 of them, it's known as the trilogy of the concession stand brawl. My roots were way, way, way deeper than any hardcore wrestling. We invented hardcore wrestling.
That's right.
Briscoe, the old adage, you've bitten off way, way more than you can chew or swallow. I can assure you that. Wintrust Arena, Chicago, Illinois, Dynamite seen globally. It's gonna be me and you one-on-one, man and man.
And I can assure you this, I will be there, and my husband's hand will be the one being raised at the end of the night. He is gonna clean the floor with your freaking face! Oh!
I've seen quite a number of concession stand fights in my career, and I'm sure many of you have as well. And each time, we see something incredible. Also tonight, in a big trios match, Chris Jericho and Sandy Guevara team with the dangerous Minoru Suzuki to face AR Fox, Action Andretti, and Darius Martin. It's a great match to kick off a fantastic week that includes Forbidden Door this Sunday on pay-per-view. Tonight, TBS champion Chris Stadlander will defend her title against a very angry and focused Taya Valkyrie. Taya feels she got a raw deal at Double or Nothing. This should be quite a match. Also tonight, just ahead of the big dream match coming up at Forbidden Door on Sunday, Bryan Danielson, the American Dragon, will call out the Rainmaker, Kazuchika Okada. And tonight, in a match basically made last week by Orange Cassidy, the AEW International Champion, teams with ROH Pure Champion Katsuyori Shibata to meet Daniel Garcia and New Japan Pro Wrestling Television Champion Zack Sabre Jr. And now this big announcement about where you can first get tickets. Wednesday, August 16th, AEW will make its debut at the Bridgestone Arena in Nashville with Dynamite and Rampage. Tickets become first available this Friday, June 23rd at 10 a.m. local time at AEWTIX.com and Ticketmaster. Get ready, Nashville, Tennessee, and the Bridgestone Arena for All Elite Wrestling coming in August. Okay, this Saturday night, AEW Collision on TNT invades the Scotiabank Arena in Toronto, beginning at 8/7 Central. That is followed the very next night back to Scotiabank Arena in Toronto by the pay-per-view spectacular Forbidden Door as AEW and New Japan Pro Wrestling come together for this once-a-year event. Here's the card as we have it right now. What is considered a dream match, the American Dragon Bryan Danielson meets the Rainmaker, Kazuchika Okada. MJF defends the AEW World title against Japanese wrestling legend Hiroshi Tanahashi. Kenny Omega defends the IWGP US Heavyweight title against Will Ospreay. And IWGP World Heavyweight Champion Sonata throws out the open challenge. And at Forbidden Door, the challenge is accepted by Jungle Boy Jack Perry. More matches will be announced this week. This is shaping up to be one of the best pay-per-views ever. Forbidden Door is available on traditional pay-per-view and our U.S. digital pay-per-view provider, Bleacher Report. Forbidden Door is also available internationally on Fight.tv, PPV.com, and DAZN. You can see Forbidden Door on YouTube in Canada, the UK, Mexico, Germany, Italy, France, and South Korea. Plus, Forbidden Door is available in select Dave & Buster's locations, select Buffalo Wild Wing locations, select Tom's Watch Bar locations, and select Regal Cinema, Cinemark Theaters, AMC Theaters, and Imagine Entertainment Theaters, as well as Galaxy Theaters. If you're coming to the event in Toronto, once again, tickets at AEWTIX.com. Tonight, though, it's AEW Dynamite live at the Wintrust Arena in Chicago as we kick off Forbidden Door Week. We take the air live on TBS tonight at 8, 7 Central. But for you fans planning to come to the event live tonight at the Wintrust Arena in Chicago, tickets at AEWTIX.com. And don't forget, come early. Matches begin around 6:30 local time. And stay after Dynamite for AEW Rampage. I'm Tony Schiavone in the Control Center. I'll see you tonight ringside in Chicago and on TBS. And don't forget that we are AEW.